Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And as you know, the State of the Saints podcast is powered by BETUS. Sign up today, get up to 150% on your first deposit and up to 125% on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. Download the BetUS app, go to the website, use the promo code YouTube150. Well, Who Dat Nation, the time is upon us. The New Orleans Saints have a Week 9 matchup versus the Carolina Panthers. And everything's been said about these teams. Everybody knows what the deal is. Both teams are terrible. The Carolina Panthers are 1-7, and the New Orleans Saints are 2-6. The New Orleans Saints on a 6-game losing streak, and the Carolina Panthers are on a 5-game losing streak. So like a big man on top of a house, something has got to give. I look at the Carolina Panthers. I see a team that's struggling, but they understand what they are at this particular point. They are trying to do what they can to try to make sure that their future is bright. They have traded some guys away. They have decided to allow Bryce Young to start. After being benched for Andy Dalton, I guess that's them trying to see what they can actually salvage. Can they actually help Bryce Young, or, do they have to cut their losses? But regardless, Carolina understands what they are. But one thing that I do respect about the Carolina Panthers is this. They fight very hard. I mean, they're not out there quitting. They're trying to give it their all. It's just the fact that they're not a very good football team. They lost some key guys on their defensive side of football, Derek Brown, one guy in particular. But there's so many different guys on the defensive side of football that they have lost. And also, they're a young team trying to figure it out. They got some young talent that, they need – to grow and develop. But, they're fighting along the way. Then you have the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, once again, on a 6-game losing streak. Over the last couple of weeks, the New Orleans Saints have had some quarterback issues due to the fact that Derek Carr has been injured, dealing with an oblique injury. So we've seen Spencer Rattler, and we've seen a little bit of Jake Haener in the second half of last week's game versus the Chargers. So it's pretty much suffice to say that neither guy is ready for prime time. When we're talking about Haener and Rattler, both guys have to go back into the fridge or go back into the oven. They're not cold enough yet if you're in a refrigerator. They're not done yet if you're in the oven. But you got Derek Carr coming back, Derek Carr dealing with that injury. And like Derek Carr or not, he's the best option for the New Orleans Saints as a starter. He's a veteran guy. He's been around the block a few times, and he knows what it takes in order to win football games. Now, he has lost more football games than he's won, but he has won some football games, and he has been one of the main reasons why his team has been successful. Now, going into this game, I look at it this way. This is a game that is so important for the New Orleans Saints because this is a game that decides the fate of Dennis Allen, in my opinion, or at least it should. Because for weeks we've heard, the New Orleans Saints don't have their players. Everybody's injured. That's the reason why the Saints aren't successful. Derek Carr is the quarterback. He hasn't been playing. That's the reason why the offense has been dead. So all these excuses we've heard week after week is to why the New Orleans Saints haven't been successful. Well, to me, the chickens are coming home to roost. The New Orleans Saints have got to win this football game if they're going to try to salvage anything, because if they don't, then I think that the upper management are going to have to concede that this experiment has been a disaster. And I know they have been trying desperately not to reach that point, but they will have no choice. Looking at both teams, the New Orleans Saints offense has struggled over the last couple of weeks. I mentioned Derek Carr should be able to solidify the offense a little bit. Taysom Hill probably was on a little bit of a snap count last week, the reason why he was in and out of the lineup there. So I expect a second week of him actually being active. I think they're going to have a little bit of an uptick on his offensive his offensive production, I should say. And also the wide receivers. You got Chris Olave. To me, I think he was a little bit skittish last week. I think the concussion and being knocked out of the game the week before, or the game, a couple games before that, I think that it kind of got to him. I mean, look, I know a lot of people don't really pay that much attention to concussions, but just imagine you're playing out there and then you get knocked out cold, and the next thing you know, people are telling you what happened. You don't really know. 1 minute you're playing football, the next minute you're in the back. So that's a scary situation right there for Chris Olave. But he's going to take the necessary precautions in order for him to be out there. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can actually do. But I think that you're going to see better offense from the New Orleans Saints. They've been struggling over the last couple of weeks. That goes without saying. But at the end of the day, I think that the New Orleans Saints are going to be much better. The defensive side of the football, they're going to be without Kool-Aid McKinstry. They're going to be without Marshawn Lattimore. Both guys are dealing with a hamstring. So that means that, you got Alontae Taylor and a bunch of backups going out there. But they're playing against the Carolina Panthers. No disrespect to Panthers fans out there, but you know what you guys are at this point. So I don't see a reason why that should be an excuse. When I look at both teams, I expect for the Saints to run the football. I expect for the Carolina Panthers to run the football. Both teams probably feel like they have an advantage when it comes to running the football. Carolina Panthers have Chuba Hubbard, who has been playing really well, probably one of the bright spots of their offense. And the Saints have Alvin Kamara and an offensive line that seems to be getting healthier each week. The only thing that they're missing now is Eric McCoy, who should be back probably early December. So all in all, who do I feel like is going to win this football game? I think that the Saints are going to win this football game. Earlier in the week, I had the Panthers winning the football game because I was so dejected. But this is the type of game that the New Orleans Saints are probably going to win, and they're probably going to be trying to beat on their chest and talk about, see what happens when you get your quarterback back and guys get healthy. Low-hanging fruit, that is the Carolina Panthers. But to me, that's not going to solve anything. I still feel like the New Orleans Saints need to go in a different direction with a head coach. I still feel like they need to go in a different direction with quarterback. That's the reason why we seen that Jeff Ireland was out there in Boulder, Colorado, looking at Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. I mean, you're not doing that type of stuff if you don't feel like you need to be looking towards the future with the quarterback. Look, I have nothing against Spencer Rattler. Y'all know that I'm high on Spencer Rattler, but the New Orleans Saints have not picked this high or going to pick this high, in my humble opinion, because I still feel like they're going to be picking in the top 10. I don't think that Derek Carr is going to absorb that. But I still feel like they need to draft themselves a quarterback. I think the best case scenario for the New Orleans Saints is Spencer Rattler gets better and you have Shedeur Sanders, and you can possibly use Spencer Rattler for some trade bait to be able to help you to maybe get a better draft pick, and Spencer Rattler can be able to help out another team going forward. So that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the New Orleans Saints trying to get out of this cap situation that they're in right now. They're in cap hell. They're making bad decisions. So the best way that you can get out of this, you got to be able to draft well. Because of the cap, rather, you're not able to go out there to get a top priority, type free agent out there. You got to be able to think strategically. And with this, I think it has to come with player development. That's the only way that you're going to get out of this. Developing a quarterback, like Rattler, maybe possibly trading him to be able to get a better draft pick. all the while maybe drafting somebody like Shedeur Sanders. Look, I like Shedeur Sanders a lot. I think that Shedeur Sanders will bring a different type of swag, a confidence, something that has been missing for quite some time. But all in all, that's the way that I feel. I think the Saints are going to get the victory. But I would love to hear from you. What do you all think about the New Orleans Saints Carolina Panthers game? What do you think the keys to victory are? Comment down below, like, and share this video. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. You can follow me on X at TJAY Jones 8. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?